Would you ever believe that the very technology meant to ease our lives could also be the source of our stress? A paradox indeed. But let's delve into this a bit more. In the grand scheme of things, technology has been a boon to humanity. It has simplified arduous tasks, enabled communication across vast distances, and opened up a world of knowledge at our fingertips. A letter that once took weeks to reach its destination now takes mere seconds, thanks to email. The vast libraries of Alexandria, once a symbol of knowledge reserved for the elite, are dwarfed by the information available to anyone with an internet connection. Yet, while technology has made our lives easier in many ways, it has also introduced new complexities. Privacy, once a given, is now a luxury. Our lives, digitized and uploaded, are subject to the scrutiny of strangers and algorithms alike. The constant connectivity, while convenient, can also be a source of stress, leaving us feeling like we're always on, always available. This is the paradox of progress. The very tools designed to simplify our lives also complicate them in unexpected ways. In this sense, technology is much like the concept of duality in Stoicism. The Stoics, ancient philosophers who advocated for a life of virtue and mindfulness, believed that good and bad are two sides of the same coin. They coexist, inseparable and integral to the human experience. Similarly, technology embodies this duality. It has the power to connect us, to educate us, to make our lives easier. But it also has the potential to isolate us, to overwhelm us with information, to make us feel more stressed and less in control. It's not inherently good or bad, it's simply a tool, and like any tool, its impact depends on how we use it. Much like a two-sided coin, technology too has its heads and tails. But how do we deal with this paradox? Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the Stoic perspective on technology and explore how we can navigate this digital age with wisdom and equanimity. Ever tried swimming against a powerful current? Not quite the best strategy, is it? This simple analogy brings us to a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy: acceptance. It's about understanding that some things in life, much like the direction of a river, are simply out of our control. And just as you'd find it easier to swim with the current rather than against it, in life too, we find that acceptance often paves the way for smoother sailing. Now let's apply this concept to technology. It's an undeniable fact that technology has permeated every aspect of our lives. It's constantly changing, constantly flowing, much like our river analogy. We can't stop it, we can't change its course, and we certainly can't swim against it. So what do? We learn to swim with it, we adapt, we evolve, we make the best of it. This doesn't mean we become slaves to technology, quite the opposite. It means we acknowledge its presence, appreciate its advantages, and learn to use it to our benefit. We accept that it's here to stay. And instead of resisting, we adapt our routines, our habits, our lives around it. For instance, instead of lamenting the hours we spend in front of screens, we find ways to make that screen time productive. We use technology to learn, to grow, to connect. We use it as a tool, not as a crutch. We control it, it doesn't control us. This is the Stoic way. It's about finding equilibrium in a world that's constantly in flux. It's about accepting change, not resisting it. It's about using the tools at our disposal to lead better, more fulfilling lives. Remember, the river of technology won't stop flowing. The question is, will you swim with it or against it? Ever noticed how time flies when you're scrolling through your phone? It's a common experience in our digital age, where screens have become an integral part of our daily lives. But it's also a stark reminder of the need for mindfulness, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Mindfulness in a Stoic sense is about being present and engaged in your current activity. It's about consciously choosing how to spend your time, rather than mindlessly losing hours to the digital vortex. But how can we apply this ancient philosophy to our modern tech-filled lives? Imagine, if you will, a sand timer, each grain of sand representing a minute of your time. As you turn the timer, the grains begin to fall, each one slipping away until, before you know it, the top half of the timer is empty. This, my friends, is how our screen time can often feel. 1 minute you're checking your emails, and the next, you've lost an hour to funny cat videos and endless scrolling. So how can we ensure we're not simply watching the sand slip away? The key is to become more mindful of our tech use. Firstly, recognize the value of your time. Each grain of sand in your timer is precious, just as each minute of your day is. We each have a finite amount of time, so let's use it wisely. Secondly, set boundaries for your screen time. Allocate certain hours for work and certain hours for leisure. By doing so, you're consciously choosing how to spend your time, rather than letting it slip away. Thirdly, engage fully with what you're doing. If you're working, focus on the task at hand. If you're relaxing and watching a film, immerse yourself in the story. By being fully present, you're embodying the Stoic practice of mindfulness. And finally, regularly check in with yourself. Ask yourself if what you're doing is adding value to your life. If it's not, perhaps it's time to put the phone down and engage with the world around you. Just as every grain of sand counts in a sand timer, so does every minute of your screen time. What if the online world was a mirror reflecting your character? A thought-provoking question, isn't it? We've delved into the paradox of progress, acceptance versus resistance, and the Stoic approach to screen time. Now, let's navigate the virtual corridors of online virtue. The realm of pixels and bytes, the digital world, can sometimes feel like a different universe. But remember, it's merely an extension of our real world. And just as in the tangible world, our character, our virtues, should guide our actions online. If the Stoics were around today, they would probably remind us that virtue is the highest good, both offline and online. So what does it mean to be virtuous online? It's easy to forget that behind every avatar, every username, there's a real person. Kindness, respect, honesty. These are not old-fashioned ideals, but timeless virtues that matter, even in the virtual world. Being virtuous online means treating others with kindness, even when disagreements arise. It means respecting other people's opinions and perspectives, even when they differ from our own. And honesty? It's about being authentic, being true to ourselves, and not hiding behind the anonymity that the internet often provides. Even in the vast expanse of the internet, the essence of who we are should not be lost. Think of your online behavior as a reflection of your character. It's like a mirror, reflecting back at you. What do you see? Are you proud of what reflects back at you? If not, remember, the internet is not just a space for self-expression, but also for self-improvement. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that we have control over our actions, our responses. The same applies to our online behavior. We have the power to shape our digital footprint, to make it a testament of our virtues. In the end, it's not just about how we use technology, but how it shapes us as individuals. So let's strive to be the best version of ourselves, both in the real and the virtual world. Because after all, virtue is not just an ideal, it's a way of life. Now, are you ready to take control of your digital life the Stoic way? Let's recap what we've explored thus far. We started by discussing the paradox of progress, where we deliberated on the double-edged sword of technology. It's a tool that can both enhance and hinder our lives, depending on how we wield it. We then moved on to the principle of acceptance, not resistance. Technology is here to stay, and as Stoics we acknowledge this reality without fear or resentment. We accept and adapt, for that is the essence of our philosophy. Next, we delved into the concept of Stoic screen time. We explored how we could use technology mindfully, ensuring that it serves us, rather than the other way around. In the spirit of Stoic discipline, we discussed setting boundaries for our digital engagement, choosing quality over quantity, and never losing sight of our humanity amidst the digital noise. In our penultimate scene, we examined the virtual virtue. We reflected on how the Stoic virtues of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance can guide us in this digital age. They can help us navigate the virtual world with integrity and purpose, treating every online interaction as an opportunity to practice these virtues. As we conclude, I invite you to take a moment and reflect on these principles. Remember, adapting to technology is a journey, not a destination. It's a path that requires constant self-reflection and adjustment. So don't be too hard on yourself if you stumble along the way. After all, even Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, said, "The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane." So, take that first step today. Start your Stoic journey in the digital world. And remember, you're not alone on this path. We're here to support and guide you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insights into Stoicism. Remember, the power to navigate the digital world with wisdom lies in your hands.